Now, there was drama in the jungle last night with Nella Rose and Fred Syriacs. Well, they had a bit of an argument, didn't they? And it really has divided fans.
Camp, you turned around to me with an attitude and said, you know I could be your dad, right? Don't bring up my dead parent. Are you stupid about, oh, you know I could be your dad, right? You know my dad's dead. You're a weirdo.
I am
You're a weirdo.
sorry.
I'm not stupid.
Nella, it wasn't
You're not
like
gonna
that.
little girl me. You're not.
Nella, it wasn't like that at all.
OK, it wasn't like that. I don't want to eat no food that you're cooking. Don't talk to me. You stay over there. I stay over here. And we can live. I'm good. So I just feel like if I don't like somebody, I'm not going to force myself to speak to them. This is not the kind of person I want to be around. These are not the kind of comments I want to be subject to.
Well, we're going to be discussing the fallout with ITV's entertainment reporter Rishi Davda and Nella's good pal Indiyah Polack in just a minute. But for those who maybe you haven't heard of Nella before she entered the jungle, because there is a wee bit of a generational gap here, I think. She's a social media star. She's got over 2 million followers and she shares content like this. Well, Rishi and Indiyah join me now. Good to see both of you. It's all kicking off, isn't it?
Yeah, things got really heated last night. It only took 3 days in the jungle, but Nella and Fred got into it after Fred said he could have been, or was old enough to be Nella's father. Nella sadly lost her father 4 years ago. And Fred appeared confused when Nella was unhappy with what she said and apologised. But Nella said she wasn't, you know, we saw she was clearly unhappy with what was said, saying she didn't want to be friends with Fred anymore and wasn't going to cook any of the food that he was making.
Yeah, she was going to eat it, was she?
Yeah.
Which in there, I would eat anything.
But that's
Everybody's made me.
What a lot of people were saying was that actually, in that scenario, emotions run high and everybody's hungry, and Fred says he didn't mean any offence, and Nella obviously was didn't like what Fred had said and raised it with him. And the reaction online, there's split parties on both sides.
There's very much so, and very much by generations. It's interesting. Now, Indiyah, you called this, didn't you? Because you said, even before all this kicked off, you said if she's going to fall out with anybody in there, it's going to be Fred. Why did you think that?
I just feel like, from, first impressions, Fred has such a big personality and it could maybe come across sometimes a little bit, bossy. And Nella has such a big personality herself. So I could just see the two of them clashing over something.
Right.
I didn't expect it to be this. But from what I know of Nella, she's a very bright, bubbly person. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She speaks her mind. I don't think Fred had any malicious intent.
No, absolutely.
But again, none of us are Nella. We're not in a sweaty jungle. We're not getting bitten by green ants, eating rice and beans.
Right.
So I feel like, you know, in that environment, it's very easy for things to be blown out or taken the wrong way. I do hope they can get over it. I feel like it was probably just, you know, they'll talk about it, maybe have a couple days rest and they'll be back, you know.
I hope so, because the thing about it is, though, she obviously got annoyed with him when he was, you know, he'd said that I'm old enough to be your dad. With her, I would have thought, from what I've seen of Nella, she would have challenged him then. Because the worst thing you can do in any situation, whether you're in the jungle or not, is actually go to your bed nursing your wrath.
Yeah.
You know, sort of thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's getting on your, you know, it's preying on your mind. It's sometimes better just to get that out there.
Yeah.
I do think that people also say that while Fred may not have meant any malice, you don't know how things are going to affect you. And for somebody who might have lost a parent in recent years, you don't know how you're going to react to something or how soon afterwards. The more you think about it, the more you think, well, actually, was there some malicious intent there? And, you know, Ant and Dec said in their Instagram live after as well, they didn't think there was
I don't
anything.
think so. And we've got to bear in mind, English is not his first... His English is brilliant, it's better than mine. But it's not his first language, and there's maybe subtle things that maybe you wouldn't pick up on, perhaps.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know.
But, you know, I think the whole situation can be taken with a grain of, you know, pinch of salt. But even with that, obviously all of us knowing that Nella's dad has passed away, maybe it was something, you know, Fred could have thought about. Maybe this could be taken out of proportion. You just never know.
Yeah, Scott is all talking about her, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it has. It absolutely
Literally.
has. And she did a trial, and she uttered those famous words. Let's have a look.
All right, let's get her out. We're getting you out, Sting.
I mean, that was a yucky trial, but people rarely say that. Were you surprised that she did?
No.
No.
Did you see what was in there? Like,
were you surprised that she actually
I'm not being
that she
funny.
attempted it in the first place?
Like, honestly, proud of her for 3 stars because that was a lot.
Right.
Like, the ants, the electrocution, it was all a bit much.
I actually think it's also really difficult when you do one by yourself.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Because you form this little
that
family
is a
very
really good point.
quickly in the camp, and then you're kind of sent off. And though Ant and Dec are great, they're not in there with
No,
you.
we need to put them in there. Can we have a little spin-off when Ant and Dec do the trial?
Do you know, I think that may well be on the list. I think that probably will happen. I'm not sure if they've ever done it before, actually. I don't know.
I think it should be like a phone a friend option. You can bring one of them in with you to try it as well and get some stars
Yeah,
for the camp.
come in as well. You're right, doing it by yourself is rubbish. Why do you think she's in there? Did she tell you why she wanted to do it?
No, I didn't even know Nella was going in.
Did you?
Nella
'Cause
is
they have
full
to
of
keep it real
surprises.
secrets, don't
She
they?
is full of surprises. Like, literally, I went on my phone the one day and I saw her. I was like, wait, what is going on? But I think Nella likes to take risks, you know? She's done a lot for herself. She's made an amazing name for herself. And I think it's a brilliant, you know, thing for her to do and just come out of her comfort zone, you know? She's very used to, like, an amazing, gorgeous glam life. So going in with critters is definitely going to be a bit of, like, a shake-up.
And also, maybe part of the problem is that she's very used to being in control of her life, like many of them are. And, of course, control's taken away from you completely. You know, you don't have that. And you're at the mercy of the editors. And you're at the mercy of your other campmates. So you don't have that thing where you say, right, I'm doing this. You very well might never get shown.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to the people in charge.
Yeah, I don't know much about as a non-celebrity myself, I don't know much about the
Behave, gorgeous man.
I don't imagine they're told no very often, so no, you can't have more food. No, you can't
Interesting.
not engage with these crocodiles and snakes and things like that.
Do you know, we ran a wee poll, as we do, just finding out, you know, what did you think? Did you think Nella was right? Did you think Fred was right? I've never known a poll like this in my life. 3% only, Indiyah, said that they thought Nella was right. 97% said Team Fred. I'm quite... yeah, so it just...
That's crazy.
It just shows you, it really does. Now, somebody was going to walk last night, weren't they? Jamie Lee again, but she's got to stay in to get her money. Do they not have to stay in 72 hours or something? I think they have to stay. I think there's a rule that you've got to stay in for a certain amount of time or you go away with nothing. So she's still kind of hanging in there, but she's on the... I think she's wibbling, isn't she?
Very emotional last night. A lot of it had to do with the luxury item, which was pictures of her children. She didn't get those. 4 other campmates were in there with paddles trying to win people's luxury items, and unfortunately they weren't able to get Jamie Lynn's. It's incredibly difficult, and some of the luxury items were slightly peculiar, which I think, including an inflatable pineapple. So I think that made it a little bit harder for Jamie Lynn.
Why would you want an inflatable pineapple
I'm not sure.
instead of a big bag of crisps? Maybe they're not allowed a big bag of crisps, but inflatable pineapple.
She went into the Telegraph afterwards and said, you can't do this, it's a horrible way to treat other people, and threatened to quit the show. Thankfully, she's staying, but has been rewarded, let's say rewarded, with the next Bush Tucker trial.
Poor kid.
Which is going to be interesting to see.
I think it's heights related. Oh, gosh. Indiyah, could you ever do it? Would you ever do it?
You know what? I feel
What
like
do
it
you
would be
think?
good for me to step out my comfort zone, but I don't know if you guys would, you know, enjoy watching it because I'm not good with creepy crawlies.
Yes, though.
It'd be a good scream. A good scream.
And do you think she'll stay, won't she? She'll
Yeah,
stay.
I think-
She will stay there.
Yeah, I think she should.
But I think there might be fireworks. More.
I think you want to stick it out, don't you? And you don't want to be the first one to go either. You want to do as many challenges.
And I know, like, she misses her children, but I bet her kids are having a whale of a time at home. Like, cheering her on, like, go, Mum! Like, they're probably not even upset.
No.
So she should do it for them. Like, it'll be good for her.
Well, we should be talking about this lots more. Lovely to see you. Thanks so much for
too.
coming in. And always good to
having
see
me.
you, Rishi. Thank you. We'll be talking I'm a Celeb and many other things a lot more. It continues tonight, of course, 9 o'clock on ITV1, but you can catch up on ITVX if that's too late for you.